Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me again for the recording of this week's blog. I'd like to start by just reminding all of us to, remember that we're never alone. Sometimes we do feel that way, but we're not. We know here we have our friends and our family, people to help us through things, but we also we need to remember that we have help on the other side in the spirit world. And we can access that help, which is what we're going to be discussing today. One way to access help, wisdom, guidance, truths. The way we're going to how we're going to be discussing it this week is through journaling. And so the name of the blog, of course, is Journaling for Guidance and Spiritual Growth. When I mention to clients, patients, or friends about how wonderful journaling is for spiritual awareness, as well as bringing through wisdom from our team of light, I usually get one of two responses. The first one is, oh, I just love to write. How do I do it? How do I go about it? The second response goes something like this. I don't know. I'm not a very good writer. I don't really think that's going to work for me. The first reaction, of course, is a green light to go ahead and explain to him or her how the process works and how it can help us. The people who believe that they need to be a good writer for journaling to work for them simply need a little bit of encouragement. Being a good writer is most definitely not a prerequisite for success in connecting with our team of light, including our spirit guides, the angels, who in fact are God's messengers, and our wise oversoul. So I'd like to begin by telling you how I began the miraculous practice of spiritual journaling. For as long as I can remember, I've always journaled. I'd simply put down my thoughts, what happened during my day, what goals or dreams I had, and what challenges I was experiencing at the time. However, when I was going through a very dark night of my soul, things spontaneously shifted. I felt lost and really alone during the breakup of my marriage and the horrific fight for custody of the kids. Those were very ominous and confusing years for me. My spiritual path did help a lot, but I was still searching for answers about how to get through it and what I needed to learn from the whole thing. And journaling has always been a comfort for me, a real comfort when I felt fearful or overwhelmed, as I did then. It gave me peace, but not really the kind of guidance I was looking for. I do honestly believe that my deep inner spiritual work was what afforded me the courage to finally break free from the darkness and dysfunction of that very unfulfilling and really frightening relationship. Once I spoke the words, I want a divorce, all hell broke loose. And I had no other choice but to board a broken down ship that instantly set sail and was bound for extremely turbulent and dangerous seas. The storms were never ending, and each one carried its own unique conditions that always led to the perfect storm. Yet journaling was still a respite for me, a way to escape the fear, even for just a moment or two. And I journaled a lot. Then one dark day, when I was beyond consolation and devoid of hope, I cried out, pleading with my guides to help. With my pen in hand and my tear-stained journal in front of me, I began to write. I asked my guides to please help me understand what was happening and what I could do to survive this horror that seemed to have taken on a life of its own. I shared my deepest fears. I was really concerned that I may not come out of it still sane and whole, because I felt so fractured and broken. The first line or two that I wrote clearly came from me and my own thoughts. Then I started asking more questions, and then, quite unexpectedly, something shifted. My pen, I know this sounds weird, but my pen felt electrified, and it was just flying down the page. My heart started racing, and my fingers were like tingling. It seemed as if I was listening and recording what I heard. I didn't hear a voice outside of me, but my thoughts were being clearly guided in a specific direction. The thoughts were wise, compassionate, strong, hopeful, and enlightened. I wrote and wrote, and as I did, a stillness and what seemed like an otherworldly peace enveloped me, like a warm, cozy blanket on a cold night. Finally, the messages ended. And the intense energy that I had felt previously kind of just softened and then just faded. So I put my pen down and I kind of just, sat back in my chair wondering, what the heck? What just happened? That process continued day after day, and each time when I read back what I had written, I was in awe. I knew, of course, that I indeed wrote it, but also knew it was coming through me, not from me. Eventually, I was made aware through deep meditation that it was indeed my team of light. So all I had to do was ask for help. That's it. Ask for help, and they jumped right in and complied. Now, part of that team that I talk about is our oversoul, put that in quotes, which I mentioned previously. You must be wondering if our oversoul is different from our soul. So perhaps some clarification is in order. Our oversoul is a part of our soul that always remains in the spirit world. It holds all the memories of each life that we have lived. When we decide to incarnate after we have planned our incarnation with our team of light, our oversoul takes a portion of its energy and sends it forth. The soul energy makes its journey to the earth plane and into the body that is growing inside our mother's womb. Together with its biological form and the personality of its human counterpart, we become who we are in that lifetime. Our soul within is always connected to its oversoul, just like an arm is connected to our body. So they may seem different, but they're one. We can all receive assistance through our soul, who again always has access to its oversoul. Thus, our full team of light can help us remember who we are and have always been, what our life purpose is. We can learn how to access information, answers, wisdom, power, strength, to help us learn the reasons for our challenges and the lessons they came to teach us. The first and most important thing that we must do in order to begin journaling or any other practice of trying to connect with our spiritual guidance is to ask. Ask for assistance. As I've said many times, our team of light must honor our free will. These enlightened beings are always with us, watching over us and trying to make us aware of them and urging us to just ask for assistance. We have to let them know we're ready. We're ready to grow and evolve through journaling or any other way that is most effective for us. They will respond as soon as we ask them to intercede, but not before, because of our free will. I found that it's also a good idea to meditate before journaling so that we can still our thoughts and open our energy to receive their messages. However, it is usually when we are at the end of our rope and in emotional turmoil when we finally cry out for help, which is what I did. Once journaling has become a daily practice, though, we might want to try meditating first and see if it makes the information easier to access and actually more clear once it is received. Finally, again, journaling is not the only way to work with our team of light and find guidance and answers throughout our lives. A regular practice of meditation itself, just meditation, can afford us the assistance from our team. And it's a little bit of a fallacy that the only way to meditate is to empty our minds of all thought. That's one way to meditate, but it's not the only way. And in fact, I use this method a lot, where I get into a deep meditation and then I ask questions and I listen for what comes through. And sometimes I'm absolutely blown away by what comes through. But actually saying, "You're kidding. Could that be real?" And then I get more and more information. It's a very interesting process. So, and also some people find religious practices, which is great, and a community of faith. They find that very, very helpful. Creative endeavors also, like painting, for example, or woodworking, creating music, or even exercise, can also still our thoughts and open our minds to inspiration and guidance. Our soul is the receiver. Okay, our soul is the receiver of the guidance from its oversoul, the angels, and our guides. It is the transmitter of that information to our current personality in order for us to live a spiritually directed life. So as the saying goes, every journey begins with a single step. Our soul's path forward is waiting for us to put one foot in front of the other and begin anew. So let's do it. Let's call out to our heavenly team today and just watch as miracles unfold. I know we totally got this, all of us. So I'd just like to add one other thing. When we're doing this kind of spiritual work, we're trying to connect with the angels and bring forth information and wisdom and our guides and connecting with our oversoul. We need to ask for protection. And when I say that, I don't mean that we're in danger in any way, but it can be distracting. We're looking for the highest form of wisdom and information, the highest truths to come forward for us. So there are spirits who, people, even loved ones who have crossed over, who would want to communicate with us. When we're trying to communicate, that can be distracting. But nothing can hurt you. Our greatest, the thing that can hurt us the most is just fear itself. And there's nothing to fear, ever. But what I do is I ask Archangel Michael to protect me, to send this cocoon of white light around me and keep anything other than the highest form of wisdom and guidance from penetrating that cocoon of light. And it works. So before you start, it's a good idea to just, and all you have to do is, it takes a second, it's no big deal. All you have to do is say, Archangel Michael, send your protective light around me, protect me from anything other than the highest wisdom, and allow only love to enter. So, and the information, of course, too. So that's it. I hope everybody enjoyed that. And if you have anything to share about how you go about accessing your own personal spiritual wisdom and knowledge, I'd love to hear about it. So anyway, as always, thanks again for being with me this week. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a wonderful week ahead, and namaste.